really well. Letter of intent, or LOI. LOI is when the project is still in its planning stage, wherein the developer does not have license to sell yet. By law, no money is supposed to be involved in LOI. But because many abuse this privilege, such as buyers and their agents, developers require a certain amount, but it is refundable in case the buyer decides not to push through. While reservation agreement is that the property is put on hold usually for 30 days, while the documentation are to be prepared. But the seller is not obligated to sell. He can decide not to push through. This is the case of developers selling properties. Earnest money agreement is the type of agreement used in which the seller is an individual owner of properties. In this case, the seller is obligated to sell. It cannot back out without legal consequences. Next is total selling price and total contract price. Total selling price is excluding miscellaneous fees or TSP, while total contract price including miscellaneous fees or TCP. You need to understand what type of pricing the developer sets for buyers. Normally, developers call it TCP when miscellaneous expenses are included. But there are developers or marketing arms of developers who separate the miscellaneous expenses from TCP. So, in effect, there will be two contracts. One for the property, and the other one is for the miscellaneous expenses. Next is loan approval versus letter of guarantee. I have a question for you. What can convince the seller to have the title transferred even without full payment? The bank requires that the name in the title must be transferred to the loan applicant first. But the seller would also say, you pay it in full first. So how can the salesperson break the standoff? The answer is, but first we will have to define loan approval. It is a commitment letter that announces the lender's commitment to offer financing to the buyer. While letter of guarantee is an assurance in writing issued to the applicant for carrying out transaction after processing of papers in favor of a beneficiary. So, what is that? Would convince the seller or owner of the property to transfer the title in the name of the buyer, even though the buyer has not paid? The answer is letter of guarantee. In the letter of guarantee, the beneficiary here is the seller who shall receive the loan proceeds. So that's the answer. Assuring the seller of a letter of guarantee would make him agree to have the title transferred in the name of the buyer, even without full payment yet. Okay, next. Completion versus turnover. Completion means all finishings, occupancy permits, etc. are done and the building is ready for occupancy. While turnover is the actual delivery of the unit to the buyer after complying with all requirements for move-in. So that is the difference between completion and turnover. Next. Okay. So that is the end of this lesson about 14 real estate terminologies in real estate.